Hey, good afternoon, Hillcrest Church. This is Christian, and this is your Thursday update on Wednesday. And that's intentional because we want to take a moment today to honor Veterans Day. Perhaps a lesser known fact, I served in the United States Air Force from 1988 to 1994. Here's a picture of me as just a wee child when I was in the service. But it was really honestly in the Air Force where I first learned the incredible power of a community of people working together on a life and death mission. And it was really only later in the church where I was able to discover the heart of that mission. Today, to help celebrate Veterans Day, I want to introduce you to my friend, Marcus Brotherton. Marcus is a New York Times best-selling author, and throughout his writing career, he has increasingly found himself exploring that place, that nexus between faith and courageous military service. Marcus is the author of numerous really excellent books. I'm reading his current one right now, Blaze of Light. I recommend it to you. And not all of his books play in that space, but lots of them find that space where courageous military service and faith find that cooperation together. And I thought he would be a great person to talk to on Veterans Day. So would you join me in welcoming Marcus Brotherton? Hey, good morning, Marcus. Delighted to have you. Thanks for making a little time to talk to me today. I think I've asked you this before, but I remain curious. How did this happen to you? How did you end up as a writer exploring this place?
Well, thanks, Christian, and thanks for your service as well. It's really strategic, I think, to have a pastor who's been in the military before, and there's a good mixing of worlds there. I really fell into this career. It's an example of how God has bigger plans for everybody than we can ever dare ask for or imagine. 2006, my agent called one day and said, "Did you ever see Band of Brothers?" I said, "Yeah, I love the show." He said, "Well, Lieutenant Buck Compton is interested in writing his memoirs. Would you be interested in the job?" Immediately I said yes. I hung up the phone, and then in a quieter moment, I wondered what I had done, because I didn't know anything about the military at all. I had grown up in Canada, kind of a different system up there. I come to the States to go to university, and the first thing I ever did was register for the draft. That was a very strange experience for a young man. So one thing led to another. I worked on Buck Compton's memoirs, and that opened up just a whole new avenue.
And has turned into really an extraordinary library of work. I've had the opportunity to read a few. I'll link up your website if folks want to check that out. So I asked then on Veterans Day, what is it about the place where those things meet, where faith and courage and courageous military service interact? What about that has compelled you so much to keep writing?
It's really about the individual, people doing noble and heroic acts. And there's a larger picture, I think, people who are willing to lay down their lives so that other people can live. Ultimately, it's a picture of Christ laying down his life for us.
Yes.
This last book I did is with Medal of Honor recipient Gary Biker. And his story, really quickly, he's a medic during the siege of Dak Sang. So he's in this tiny little village in the Central Highlands region of Vietnam. 400 indigenous fighters, 2,300 women and children, all in their care. One night, they are surrounded by the enemy in secret, 10,000 enemy soldiers who just began to shellac the village. I mean, it's absolute carnage inside. And Gary's job, he's a healer. He's the chief medic in this village. And so his job is to take care of everyone in his care. Morning light comes and the shelling is just coming in. And Gary is hit 3 times, stomach, back, hip, paralyzed from the waist down, bleeding heavily. His fight is over. But this is the amazing part of his story. He calls 2 helpers to him and he says, "Carry me." And so these helpers drag this medic around the battlefield. He can't walk. They drag him from wounded person to wounded person. And that's how he continues to administer aid to the people in his care. When I heard this story, I just went, this is a picture of what we are called to do. Certainly different stages of heroics. But in this season of tremendous angst for so many people, many of us are hurting, many of us are wounded, and yet there's a big call to keep going forward. God has called you and me and everybody to administer aid to the people in our care. Maybe it's emotional aid, maybe spiritual aid, and the call is to keep going.
Amen. In this book, to watch his heart unpack for these people and for love of the people to become his motive to lay down his life like that, I just kept finding myself over and over finding the great big story of Jesus and who we are as this community played out over and over. I was really grateful.
The wounded
healer. And that's what we want to celebrate on this Veterans Day. That what we love about veterans and their service, those who serve with dignity and honor and courage, is the way they reflect the heart of God, the way he loves us and the way we are called to love one another. So thank you, Marcus Brotherton. Man, I feel really glad to count you as a friend, and I've really enjoyed reading your work, and I'm honored that you would take time to be with us today. Thanks for being a part of this community, and thanks for sharing this story with Hillcrest Church. If you've got more questions for Marcus or you want to check out his work, like I said, I will put the links down below so that you can do that. And would you just join me in thanking Marcus for being here today? All right, so awesome to have Marcus with us today. That was a real treat. Just a couple other things for your Thursday update. I want to remind you that this Sunday we have the Advent Kit Pickup and Create Team Decorating Party. So if you want to swing by between 10 and 1 and pick up your Advent Kit, there'll be teams of artists here to help you set up and decorate, make those Advent kits your own. Don't worry if you're not able to come by this Sunday. We will begin door drops on Monday, and we will keep it up until everybody has theirs. In fact, if you still want to make sure that you are getting one, you can always go and fill out our community card online at hcbellingham.com, and we'll make sure that you get one. Last little thing, quick update, is that we're still in the midst of holiday baskets. And I'd say for the first time since I've been here, Cynthia's saying, hey, we still need people to help out with this. So if you or your small group, your family are ready to build a holiday basket to share love with somebody else this season, would you go to our website? It's right on the front page, and indicate that you're willing to sign up and help Jesus community and Jesus love be shared to folks who are in need. I mean it when I say Happy Veterans Day to all of you who have served or are serving. I'm grateful for the ways that you show self-sacrificial love and embody the identity of Christ. I am grateful. I'm really grateful to belong to this community on a life and death mission together. So be blessed. Have a really wonderful week. Think of that today, and we will see you gathered on Sunday.